Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. RazörFist made a very good video, and I will say that in the end, like the end goal, the end point, the conclusion, I agree. I do believe that Assassin's Creed lost its charm on how he put Assassinate. Because in the end, it is something, it's not lost would be wrong on this point, because it did by its own making. That is the reality. It was not something and we all grow old of the mechanics or something like that. It's in more or less a reality about it. We did. Assassin's Creed kill its own charm in most cases. The major point of contention, maybe? The difference between the arguments come to a simple point. I disagree more or less when saying that Assassin's Creed 2 was the start of the end of the journey. I still believe that Assassin's Creed, you could point out, has Assassin's Creed Revelations, even if it's still one of the ones that I like, and Assassin's Creed 3 was the ones who start the downfall. I will further go along with this point and kind of explain my views, but we're gonna be looking at some parts of the video here that RazörFist made. I will leave the video in the description, and I highly recommend you stop watching the entire video first, then come back here and have this quote-unquote watch with me. But again, in all due likelihood, the reality is I agree with the end point. I agree that Ubisoft killed what was good about it. The fact is, in so many ways, because Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2 were more or less different games, you may have a different opinion on what is Assassin's Creed, what Ubisoft killed, to be honest. So, let it go. Let's go and see what happened.
It's no ancient Templar secret the AAA industry is an exercise in finding new and inventive ways to fix what ain't fucking broken, but few franchises have exemplified this corporate syndrome like Assassin's Creed.
I will be honest, I disagree that Assassin's Creed is the best way to show that. Because, liked or not, Assassin's Creed is being put a large amount of quotation marks because he will disprove that point that I'm talking about in some ways. Successful. It's not perfect, but it's being successful. It's in the same quote-unquote way that Call of Duty is always successful. Yeah, it's still selling less than the entry before, but it's still selling enough to be considered a success. If you really want to see what is the AAA industry, and if you want to be more specific about what is Ubisoft version of fixing what isn't broken, don't need to look that far. Hell, Breaking Point was the easiest way to show. It wasn't broken, but Ubisoft tried its best to fix. And it's not a question about fix, it's a question about applying a formula. Ubisoft is one of the biggest and the best formulaic developers there is. Ubisoft has a formula, an open world game full of nicks and eggs to collect, and with a couple side quests. And each and every time they start to adding more of the pieces. Of course, sometimes everyone got pissed off about some of the piece of the formula, and Ubisoft cut that out. You cut that out with the towers you don't need to climb on, I think, Far Cry 5 forward? Although we only had 2 to complain, and one is a most a forgettable half of a Far Cry title. But you see, they still keep adding things to that. The RPG mechanics, the loot, the co-op, the raids, and all of that. I still believe then in some way the assault mode that we're gonna have on Valhalla is very similar to raids. And hell, I just did 14 seconds of this video and I talk more than I should.
Level with you guys. I love Assassin's Creed 1. It remains one of my favorite eternally replayed stealth experiences to date, and I'm utterly unrepentant in proclaiming so. But what in 15 fucking fucks has happened to this series? I call it the Arkham effect, but you can easily apply it to any AAA effort to eclipse 5 million in fucking sales. After Arkham Asylum, the industry was instantly awash in free-flow combat and collect the flagotry to upgrade your goddamn character. The Last of Us launched an entire era of maudlin movie sob scenes cutscenes and chest-high, ankle-deep wall stealth, and after a certain success of a wild hunt in 2015, Assassin's Creed fell clean out of the Witcher 3 tree and smacked every plagiarized branch on the way down. From the
I will disagree. Again, I disagree with the way he arrived to the point, but I totally agree with the point. I don't firmly believe the problem was Archon. I fucking believe the problem was Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 is a mediocre game that was fucking successful. And because of that, every Ubisoft game starts to follow this trend. And, well, that is something that I talked about on the Valhalla video, more specific. Ubisoft is strange in the way that all of theirs, I understood, cross-pollination between developers under one publisher is a thing, but in the way that happened to Ubisoft, it's very, very big. That's why everyone believes that the Ubisoft formula exists. The cross-pollination of concept, art design, and a lot of things happen in every. The way I know that is nitpicking, but the way the colored loot happens in both in Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Breaking Point was almost the same color scheme. The fact that each and every one of those games in a very distinct amount of time starting to get the same thing, the same focus on the RPG, the same, oh, let's shove in a co-op here and there. Well, don't think the fuck Assassin's Creed doesn't have co-op until now. And it's more because Assassin's Creed kinda put its fit and tried to dip in the pool of the multiplayer. I'm still gonna say there is a little bit of a charm of the multiplayer on Brotherhood and so on and those entries. Not gonna lie, I don't remember the multiplayer of Unity because I just played the story, and that was it.
the shallow but still atmospheric social stealth of earlier offerings to a thimble-deep open-world base-building RPG with a wedged-in emphasis on historical fantasy and fucking.
He's
Assassin's
right.
Creed bears not the faintest fucking resemblance to its former repute. You can crow about the self-evident shortcomings of the inaugural Assassin's Creed all you like, and certainly it's more repetitive than a grindcore breakdown, but the first game had fucking magic. Every assassination was impactful, every scenario carried weight, and every environment was utterly and eminently memorable. I can recount to you in detail every solitary assassination in that game from conception to completion and the many permutations thereof. Assassin's Creed 2 and certainly the modern sequels? Not so fucking much, and now we know why. As in anticipation of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the latest attempt to glom on to other entertainment properties, in this case Netflix fodder like Vikings and The Last Kingdom, whose only commonality is being nothing the fuck like what made Assassin's Creed kick ass to begin with, Ubisoft parted their oblivious maw and proffered their opinions on the evolution of the series in an article exclusively on IGN.com.
I have to say one fucking thing. It's really hard to do this on RazörFist video because he talks fast, almost like some other asshole that is talking to you about right now. But let me be honest about something here. I can see where it's coming from because yes, and that is the reason that you can. I'm gonna try to find the link of this article and put in the description below. But let me be honest here. The thing is, Assassin's Creed 1 was good. Yeah, it yes, as he even said, there is a little bit of janky, was a little bit of a problem, but it was, as he put it, magical. It did have the magic of it. But the problem starts to be on this. And it's far more personal than many of the times than I ever talk on this. I suck at stealth. Even that, I was able to complete Assassin's Creed 1 and have fucking fun with it. Even if it was more of a go run, try to stealth on heavy quotations, kill the fella and run like a fucking bitch for the hills. But I did. And the problem was that Assassin's Creed 2 accommodate my retarded style of play a little bit better than Assassin's Creed 1. Because of that, in more ways than one, I will say that Assassin's Creed 2 was better than Assassin's Creed 1. In the same way, then he can't like he says, "Oh, I can see and recall many of the important moments of Assassin's Creed Ones. That was the kills. I still can recall a lot of interesting and important moments of Assassin's Creed 2. Although I will say, I will be far more easy recalling Assassin's Creed Brotherhood than 2 even, because each game hit different in each person, and that's the fact. The problem is when since the series started in this way, with Assassin's Creed 1 being kinda different, and not in an evolution way different, but in a real different way to Assassin's Creed 2, it became very hard to maintain an identity. Although Assassin's Creed 2 maintained the same quote unquote identity for Brotherhood and Revelations, it starts to water down on Black Flag and so on and so forth. The fact is, story of Assassin's Creed from from 3 onward was not about the conflict between assassins and Templars, although a very simple conflict, and the only one who tries its best to push it down back to it was Syndicate. The problem was Syndicate stopped existing because nobody paid attention and everyone was already tired of the same formulaic gameplay. I I really wanted, if I could, I would like to see a world where the gap of 1 year was taken between Unity and Syndicate, not between Syndicate and Origins. Because with that, we could see maybe Assassin's Creed Syndicate being better. We still have the story between Assassins and Templars, we still will have different things. But the problem is still end up being, on this topic, the two games, 1 and 2, are enough different than it could attract two different people.
And instantly betrayed to me exactly why Assassin's Creed has jettisoned the plot into outer fucking space. The first hint at the developer's skull-splitting stupidity comes almost immediately when they offer a post-mortem of the original title. A title, I'd remind you, that remained the best-selling game in the series for over a half fucking decade. Yes, selling considerably better than the second game everyone soils their Jade Raymond underoos over. Quote, a lot of the actual missions we were asking the players to do in the original were not relying on the strength of the game, that being parkour and wall climbing, Guidon says, who was a game designer for Assassin's Creed 2. And so we said, okay, we need to use that as a gameplay block during missions, unquote. And this is half the fucking issue in Assassin's Creed 2. In lieu of plotting out each assassination to be both open-ended and memorable, as in the original, the second Assassin's Creed sacrificed the artistry of assassination for interchangeable wall climb and cock shit. I played the second game almost as much as the original, and yet I can faintly fucking recall a single assassination scenario contained therein. I have a vague recollection of chasing a Catholic bishop down a spiral staircase to carve his carotid like a ripe Christmas ham, but for all I know, that's a repressed memory from fucking Bible camp. You can
Again, that becomes the point. One of my complaints, and I think I already put that on probably on Ubisoft like last year no, even before, when I kind of talked about the origin no, Odyssey, was the fact that I really enjoy the parkour, even if it was janky, clunky, was a fucking piece of shit most of the times, and could broke a lot. I enjoy it, and when the series start to going backwards in time, we have those more sparse areas without the areas, so you could do the parkour, you could do the wall climb, and you could do that. I really start to, yeah, it's fun, but it's not that. Why I still had fun with Black Flag. I had fun with Black Flag because I enjoyed the naval combat. I don't enjoy the naval combat enough to buy in a game single on it, and that's why I'm still a little bit disappointed with Black Flag, but I still enjoy the concept. Now, again, I can understand the point. Each assassination on Assassin's Creed 1 was far more memorable because that was Assassin's Creed 1, while Assassin's Creed 2 was more about the story, I think. And yes, I'm clearly putting I think at the end because I it was for me. I enjoy the story of Assassin's Creed 2. I enjoy seeing Ezio become a fucking from a fucking lovable moron to a almost not so lovely moral. I like the character. Sorry.
Love Assassin's Creed 2 all you like. I'd argue it's from here the syndrome originally spread. Look, I love Assassin's Creed 2, and even argue it's an improvement in every other solitary respect. Save perhaps annoying ass Ezio, who started out as a welcome change from Altair's taciturn histrionics before wearing out his welcome like a pit-stained vacuum salesman we let into the franchise's front parlor and then couldn't figure out how to get him to goddamn leave. And that's without even indulging in the idiotic ancient aliens horseshit they wrote in and then wrote out again inside of two titty fucking games. For all the praise heaped upon Assassin's Creed 2, the soul was sucked out then and there. And
And here's the point. Again, those are two different things. I enjoy Ezio as a character, so that's why I really enjoy Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. Again, one of my problems with Revelations is that it didn't end Desmond's story. Desmond's story should have ending with both Altair and Ezio. It would be a far more fitting end to the quote unquote three protagonists than we had during that. And yes, I kind of agree in parts with the alien civilization bullshit that was shoved in on the Assassin's Creed 2. Although I like those conspiracy bullshit, and I really enjoyed that. And let me tell you, it's not only those characters that have their ending. Let us remind that Subject 16 still have quote unquote his end more or less here too. So yeah, and that is something that I said on my Assassin's Creed video, well, my Assassin's Creed Valhalla video. The problem of okay, since I missed two parts of the game, Origins and Odyssey, I'm probably not gonna have a fuck of an interest on the future part from the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so it will feel a lot more tacked on. I can understand where he's coming from. Assassin's Creed 2 is different than Assassin's Creed 1, and maybe that is one of the things. Maybe the series itself lack an identity, had an identity crisis since the beginning, and because of that, we're now seeing the identity crisis just grow louder, bigger, and bigger and bigger with Valhalla, with Odyssey, to be honest.
argue it's the animus that facilitated all of it. One of my very first fucking rants, in fact, argued that if they'd stuck to the original Assassin in the Holy Land, shanking Saracens and Crusaders alike concept, sans sci-fi bullshit, it would have been drastically improved in both the short and the longer term. And then came the tacked on minigames. Brotherhood's base building gave way to yet more base building in Revelations. After all, what better way to make the player feel like a lone instrument of historical vengeance? Like playing Civilization with a cringy army of aimless NPCs.
Okay, that's the other problem. The other I kinda disagree. I fucking like the minigames. I will say that I like the minigames until 3. I liked more the minigames on 3 than I like the minigame. I still like Brotherhood more. And I like Brotherhood more because of. Let me put you on the most bullshit tangent that I ever will pull you on. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood release, and there was a Facebook Assassin's Creed game. Yeah, I'm pulling hardcore bullshit on you right now. And it was a cross promotional thing, so you could utilize the Facebook game to control your assassins outside, and I did that. Completely bullshit? Sure. And here's the thing. On Brotherhood, you're not, and that is one of the points that I would disagree. In Brotherhood, you're not more the instrument of the sole instrument of vengeance than you were on Assassin's Creed 2. In Brotherhood, you are the leader of the fucking Brotherhood, so it makes sense then you have your little goons around you. So yeah, I can agree. Then the mini game itself could have a more better presentation, more ways to show, more things to show, even like more management. But then that would be the problem. When we are diluting too much of the main story for that, we had that problem in Fallout 4, where people wants to make Bethesda wants to make the settlement completely outside the game, so you are not forced to play with the settlement. But the fact that the settlement was so fucking outside of the game that it really felt tacked on, and well, in the end, we have a lot more DLCs for the fucking settlement than for the main game itself. But in the end, I disagree with the management of the Brotherhood buildings and stuff like that. I really like that aspect. And again, this is more personal preference than anything else. Then it is otherwise. So it's a question of agree to disagree.
Season cities you'll never see, let alone give the faintest flying fuck about.
I did.
Assassins. By Assassin's Creed 3, the team was so preoccupied with pirate ships and historical revisionism, by the time it tore you away to play as the actual protagonist, most quit playing due to a lack of fucking interest, or, their console being bricked by the 50,000th game-breaking goddamn glitch. By then, series creator Patrice Desilets had long since been booted out of the company to work on a Leslie Jones simulator, and Assassin's Creed was cranking out cash-ins on an annual basis, leading to a living death that culminated in a third Assassin's Creed title that sold more copies than any Assassin's Creed game before or since, which, believe it or not, was actually the worst thing that could have happened to the franchise. I've said it before, and I'll repeat for posterity. The only thing worse for a franchise than a shitty sequel that no one buys is a shitty sequel that everyone buys. In theory,
He is right. That was the problem. I think Assassin's Creed 3 was the problem. Everyone complained. Everyone most likely pre-order because, let me be honest, I was fucking pumped to play an Assassin's Creed game on the American Revolution. And in the end, yeah, he was right entirely on what he's saying here. It's completely bullshit how they managed the game. The story was bad, and yes, I had more fun on the naval missions and building the estate than I had fun playing the main storyline. The main storyline is completely forgetful, and I don't remember much about it. But I still enjoy the naval mission. It I enjoy enough, so I bought it Black Flag then.
theory, a 70% improvement over the previous game's sales seems like a win however you slice it. In practice, Assassin's Creed 3 was so staggeringly, cuntingly awful, the fact that everyone played it and was instantly repulsed by the product did irreparable damage to the property and thus adversely affect the sales of later, otherwise entertaining entries in this series. Indeed, every game after Assassin's Creed 3 would sell fewer copies than it did, a trend that persists to the present day despite an install base larger than the Xbox 360 and PS3s by an order of magnitude. Quote, just this feeling of being on a ship firing the cannons and everything was something really powerful that we knew we had to explore, Assassin's Creed 3 producer LaFerriere says. It branched off very quickly from a prototype to, okay, let's include it in the game and let's give the Singapore team this awesome mandate. So that's how it came to life, and the rest is history, unquote. And just like that, the Assassin's Creed series was suddenly about fucking pirates, which honestly brings me to the core malady of the modern franchise. Just because something is fun, don't mean it belongs in an Assassin's Creed title.
And here is where we finally arrive to the point that both me and him agree 100%. I think, and I was wrong about that because timeline things. I agree with him. Assassin's Creed 3 was, as I said on the beginning of this video, the last Assassin's Creed game. I talking bullshit because I contradict myself right now. Assassin's Creed Revelations is the last Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed 3 is where we stop being Assassin's Creed game. Because remember, things were very simple. We're Assassins versus Templar. Assassins versus Abstergo in the future. While we arrive on on Assassin's Creed Black Flag, On Assassin's Creed 3 is already different. We are Connor trying to get revenge on his people, and later date we were Kenway, Edward Kenway, something along those lines, playing pirate, and occasionally we were assassin. Hell, we turn assassin, and the game end. That's how the thing happened. When the moment then you think, oh, okay, now we're gonna start our assassin's adventure is when the game fucking ends. So shit, get ready for the next round, more likely. Storytelling is interesting because they literally forgot about it. And the problem is, Unity fucked that over because, well, it destroyed the French Revolution and could have a very good storytelling. And Syndicate was where everyone was pissed off with this franchise. No matter how Syndicate would be, how good Syndicate would be, it didn't matter. It would get fucked. And the problem was on Syndicate, more or less, it was because Far Cry 3. They really need to create a charismatic villain, and that was the thing. The character on on Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the villain, wasn't. The Templars don't need to be people, quote unquote, on the storytelling. They need to be targets. You may need a little bit of a motivation to kill they, but they not need to be completely having their full-fledged backstories and storytelling about they. They are Templars, and that would be enough reason because they want to control mankind. While they try to create that crazy character, haha, then we had on Voss, they fail and create a bland, crazy character that is crazy for the sake of crazy.
So we enter the modern era, whereupon Assassin's Creed 4, a great goddamn pirate game, and frankly fucking horrendous stealth assassination sim, led to the franchise's present configuration as a glorified bag of holding for every half-assed, errant AAA trend Ubisoft could print a few pesos out of. From Syndicate with its Batman Arkham ass cancer and cringy steampunk trannies, to Witcher's Creed Odyssey with its Greek orgies and motherfucking Medusa fights, scarcely a fashion trend in all of gamerdom has yet to subsume Assassin's Creed's once pioneering format. Assassin's Creed 1 wasn't perfect, but its blend of social stealth, regular stealth, swordplay, and parkour was unlike anything else on the market, and with a proper embrace of historical fiction, medieval history, memorable assassinations, and stealth atmosphere, the true gameplay pillars, not fucking parkour, it may well have snowballed into something truly exceptional down the line. And unlike the latest labeling of modern mediocrity they're slapping Assassin's Creed logos on these days, something that would stand utterly apart in the industry. No less commercial, I'd argue. The first game sold like gold-plated pussy after all, but at the same time artistic and unique. Even after plummeting sales, piracy, and an annual pause to collect themselves and reassess what actually worked in the series, it's abundantly clear Ubisoft have yet to learn the most important lesson of all. To try to be everything to everyone is to be nothing to anyone. If you're a receptacle of everything, there's no room to be anything of your own. Ask Mia Khalifa's cunt. I'm RazörFist. God fucking speed.
He's completely right on most of those the end conclusion of the point, and I agree. The only thing is, he's mostly right because Black Flag, Odyssey, Journey, what the fuck, Odyssey and Valhalla are not Assassin's Creed games. They are completely different already. They are something, and if you cut the Assassin's Creed game and take the future part, they would sell more. And I said that on my Assassin's Creed video. I 100% believe if they cut whatever they are putting on the future, focus on more mythological shit on the Viking era, yeah, it would fucking work 100%. And I would say then, if they did the same for Odyssey, would be 10 times better. It would be better, it would be a better game. And the fact is now, because this is an Assassin's Creed, they need to force themselves to change things from the original. And as I said, it's very difficult to see the original Assassin's Creed, if it is Assassin's Creed 1 or Assassin's Creed, it's your trilogy, to put it bluntly. What is the true beginning identity of the game? The fact is, it's difficult because they needed to to bring those things, as for example, oh, it is Assassin's Creed, so the Hidden Blade needs to kill in one attack. But if that wasn't Assassin's Creed, they didn't need the Hidden Blade. They just could have another weapon. They didn't need to have a social stealth. They could focus on the combat, on invading cities, or trying to convince the cities to join you by sieges or by whatever. That's the thing. Attaching the Assassin's Creed name to those games, especially Black Flag, uh, I'd say Origins, and now Valhalla, is what's causing the problem of the franchise. Assassin's Creed could be kept on. Yes, that still makes you remember then Unity and Syndicate would be quote unquote the last Assassin's Creed, and 3 would be included in that. But that was, in my opinion, 3 was already the beginning of the end. The franchise started getting out of the control. The problem was during the storytelling of Assassin's Creed 3 was not the game history that was being molded to fit on our history. It was our history that need changing to fit on the Assassin's Creed lore. And I would prefer the other way around, because that is more or less how Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and Ezio storyline works. He is right in the end. Assassin's Creed fall flat. It got assassinate. Its charm got assassinate. And I agree on his conclusion, even if I don't agree with every one of his points. Ladies and gentlemen, that's me. See you next time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This was the video. If you enjoyed, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave it a dislike. If you have anything to say, please leave a comment. And if you want to see what the hell is gonna be coming next on this mess, subscribe. And see you guys on the next episode.